This is an impromptu Facebook Live video. It's a catch-up video because on November 3rd at 3 o'clock I was supposed to do this topic, but ended up having to cancel it because I had impromptu family issues I had to do. So I'm catching up this time. Just a sec. So the topic was walking away, finding your bliss. Okay. A lot of the times, a lot of people find it hard to do that. Let's adjust a little bit here. See me a little bit better. There we go. So please understand this is just something from my point of view. Okay? And it's taken me a while to try and figure out how I wanted to approach this topic. It is and can be a very delicate topic for many, including myself. So I had a really hard time figuring out how I wanted to approach this. Now, I do want to say what has helped for me may not help for you. It's your life. You have to be able to figure out what works for you. Okay? So please don't take offense, but this is what has helped me to start finding my bliss. Okay? And I don't think it ever stops. Working to find our bliss, I don't think ever stops. As we grow, as we evolve. Hi, Tony. As we grow, as we evolve, I think our need to change, our bliss changes. What we consider our bliss changes. So I think this is a evolving concept for us. So like I said, I'm doing this more from my sense and what has helped me. Okay. Again, it's just my opinion. So there's been a lot of times in my life that I feel overwhelmed. Okay. And I feel lost or simply just unhappy in life. It happens. It happens a lot. I suffer from depression. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from social anxiety. Hence why I do live videos to try and get over that. And during these times, I get really, really depressed because I feel trapped. I feel trapped in my everyday life, not seeming to go forward at all in any direction. I feel overwhelmed by everything and everyone, and I feel like I'm standing at a standstill, and I feel like everything is being dropped on top of me, and I lost my happy. Okay? And it's not a good thing when we lose our happy, and again, what I'm going to give you guys are just things that help me, but the biggest lesson I learned, and maybe you will see some wisdom in this too or not, it's up to you. If you lose your happy, if you lose who you are, if you lose your bliss, okay, who is that hurting the most? Just a question. Just think about it. Is it hurting anybody else? Is it hurting anything else? Or is it just hurting you? Is it making you depressed? Is it making you feel overwhelmed more? Is it making you feel anxious? When we lose our happy, we lose a sense of ourselves as well as a piece of ourselves. And it was during one of these really dark times that it finally hit me. I was a yes person. I said yes to everything and everyone all of the time. I was the go-to yes person. And I knew I was doing it. I knew the whole time I was saying yes that I was already overwhelmed. I was overworked. I was underappreciated. I was already feeling used. I was simply tired. I was setting myself up for failure to succeed in any part of my life. Any part of And still knowing this, despite knowing this, I still kept saying yes for the longest time. I didn't change it. It just went on and on and on. It got to become habit. Yes, sure, why not? Okay, you can count on me. Okay. And one day, as I said, it hit me that I was tired. I was unhappy with the yes life that I cultivated, that I created, that I manned. It was my own fault that I was feeling this way because I allowed myself to keep saying yes when I desperately wanted to say no. And then what happened was I was overwhelmed, overworked, underappreciated, and I was failing. I was failing in my own happiness. And I was sad. I was depressed, horribly depressed. And I started thinking, why am I always saying yes? Well, does it, Tony? Well, I hope this helps today. Um, why would I say yes? Why? It boiled down because I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to think of me as a team member, as a part of the team, as a helpful person, as a person that was equal to them. So in a sense, I was elevating them and their needs and lowering my own. I created it, I cultivated it. My own fault. Um, and as I got older, I started realizing that this isn't helping anybody at all. This wasn't helping me. And I say this a lot. If you cannot make yourself happy, nobody else will. If you cannot cultivate your own happiness, nobody else will. If you give your happiness to somebody else, they'll take it and leave you with nothing. If you give happiness to yourself, you'll keep it. You have to fill yourself up with happiness. We have one life, right here, right now. What do you want to create and cultivate? What is your bliss? That's simple. So I sat down. I made a list, a very detailed list of all the things that I said yes to in a 3-month period. And believe me, there was a lot. I went from the big things down to the teeny tiny little minute things that I say yes to, whether it was for myself or somebody else. Okay? Everything from my own sense of what I felt I was supposed to do on a daily basis. Okay? To my friendships, my family, my loved ones, my job at the time. It was a huge, daunting task. But I persisted and I wrote it. When we look at these aspects, okay, like I said, what I felt I needed to do on a daily basis. Now, mind you, I was not, treated in any differently than anybody else growing up. My parents were amazing and still are to this day. Okay. So it wasn't them that put this pressure on me. They tried their best to show me that in order to be a good adult, you had to take responsibility for your actions. Okay. Problem is I went overboard. Okay. So when I say what I had to do on a daily basis, I had to do the dishes. I had to vacuum, dust, clean the bathroom, put away the clothes, straighten up the house, make sure everybody was fed, make sure people were given meds. All of this long before I did it. Make sure the grocery shopping was done, making sure the bills were done, making sure that we had money here, we had money there, that people were taken care of in my family. It wasn't my family that taught me this. It was society, believe it or not. My mom and dad actually cultivated, you should dust your house at least once a month, whether you like it or not. Clean your walls 4 times a year, whether you like it or not. Your home is your sanctuary, and everyone's welcome. There's always going to be a place at the table for them. So see, nothing severe, but it was society that made me feel like I had to overdo everything. Okay? And it started playing in my head. I would literally go through 4 gallons of bleach a week cleaning. You could eat off my floors. Could you not? I get on my hands and knees and I would scrub with a scrub brush my floors because I was a yes person. What society wanted us to do, or at least I perceived it, I had to have makeup on. I had to have my hair done. I had to be dressed in a certain way. I couldn't sit around in my pajamas. And the thing is I remember when I was younger, we spent most of the morning on Saturdays in our pajamas until my mom's like, okay, it's noon, get your butt out, go play. On Sunday, we were pretty much in our jammies until we went to go visit our family. We had family time even. It wasn't my family that did this to me. I was a yes person to society, the way I thought that had to be. And it got really bad really quick. So that was part of it. My family and my friends. Hi, Jody. They were draining, horribly draining. My job, horribly draining. So going through this whole entire list, and I'm talking details, I started breaking things down. I did, like really in depth, broke it down. And I realized, hey, my own thoughts of what I felt I was supposed to do on a daily basis was, A, undoable. There was simply not enough time in the day to have my floors scrubbed so you could eat off them, my counters scrubbed, my cabinets scrubbed, every piece of appliance scrubbed, my dishes done, my carpets cleaned and vacuumed and swept and dusted. And there was not enough time in the world for that. It's undoable for one person on a daily basis. There were things that I did that really did not need to be done daily. I didn't need to wash my carpets daily. I didn't need to deep clean my floors 1 to 2 times a day on my hands and knees scrubbing it. Right? I didn't need to bleach my toilet twice a day. I didn't need to do my dishes 3 times a day or 2 times a day. I didn't need to do my laundry every single day. I didn't need to iron and starch every piece of clothing and put them away every single day. Okay? I also realized that I was my own self-saboteur. I sabotaged my day, my energy with useless and wasteful, time-consuming things that were not important. I worried how other people would look at me. What if my makeup wasn't perfect? What if my hair wasn't perfect? I would spend an hour on my hair. I would spend an hour and a half on my makeup daily. And I would touch it up at noon and again at 5. Everything was starched. Everything. All my clothes. Down to my underwear and bras and socks, folks. Time consuming, wasteless, just time wasting. All it was. I did not prioritize my life. I wasn't a priority at all. I wasn't even on the list half the time. I was taking care of everybody and everything else. I wasn't even on my list. And I never gave myself time to recharge and relax. I was literally going on sheer will and determination because of these thoughts in my head. That's it. Let me adjust this a little bit because it's sliding. There we go. So it got to the point where I just could not do it anymore. I kept saying yes. Yes, I will get up, at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever. Make sure everything is washed perfectly, that everything was put away perfectly, that my home was picture perfect. Picture perfect. Out of a magazine, picture perfect. My friendships were literally draining me, horribly draining me. I had loads of people in my life, loads of people, yet I also had no one. A lot of my friends simply wanted me to do things for them, assist in their accounting for their businesses, driving them where they needed to be, doing chores for them, doing errands for them, working their businesses, literally working their businesses while I was doing my own. Coming to me for every little teeny tiny issue that they had. My friends weren't really true friends because if I needed help, they were never there. To give you an idea, and this is a few years back. Okay, and it's sliding again. Hang on. Look, you little bugger. Stop sliding. I didn't have it open all the way. That's better. Hi. You can see me. Anyway, this is a few years back. I was really good friends with this person, and I was going through a really rough time with my health at the time. And I had gone over there. I mean, my husband and my father work on their car. I literally help in their business. I would help in their accounting. I was actually their bookkeeper for their business. I'd run their business for them. Well, I got sick, like really bad. And it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to be there at 7. I told them I would. I said, look, I called them up. I'm like, I can't come. I can't. I'm throwing up. I'm sicker than a dog. I've got a temperature. I don't want to go nowhere. I can't go nowhere. I ache from my hair on my head hurt. My eyelashes hurt to blink. I could not go nowhere if I wanted to. I just couldn't. I said, but if you're going to be out and about, could you bring me some homemade soup that you have in your fridge that I made last night? Or could you bring me a bowl of that so I don't have to get up and cook? Could you bring me some? Since you have to go past my house to go to work. You know what their words were? Their words were, I don't know if I have time today. You've put me in a hard spot. I now have to find someone to babysit for me so that I can go to work, and I just don't have time to stop. Yeah. Come to find out, I had pneumonia. Pretty badly, actually. Pneumonia that turned into pleurisy, which is an infection in the lining of your lung. 3 days after I called, I went to the hospital because I couldn't breathe. I was in the hospital a week. Didn't see this person. Didn't hear from him. Nothing. Home 3 days. I get a phone call. So I know you're out of the hospital. When can you come back? When can you come back? Because I need this, and gave me a list of like 10 things to do. You know what I did? I won't be back at the end of the week, but I'll be there on Saturday. I was a yes person. I was a yes person. It was a horrible way to be treated. But I created and I cultivated the yes scenario. Everyone knew me as the yes person. Everybody. So what do you think they did? They took advantage. My friends that I really enjoyed hanging out with, that made me feel happier, that uplifted me, that made me, had this equality between us, that this fun, this wisdom, this real good connection. I realized I didn't really spend a lot of time with them because I was always doing for those that wanted me to be the yes person. Yeah. Then came my loved ones. Note to self: see friendships above. Um, I had a lot of family, and I do, mother and father side. Um, and a lot of them simply wanted me to do things for them, or would be drama filled. Something would be drama filled. One would be arguing with the other one, and they dragged me into it. And um, if I needed help, they were never there. Very few members of my family, on my mother's side and my father's side, would ever help if I needed something. And if they did help, they wanted to know immediately before they said yes to helping me, what were they getting. If I needed something from the store, even though they were going to the same store, I would give them money to pick up a loaf of bread. They would want $5 for gas. I'm serious as a heart attack. Even though they're going to the same store. And I lived 2 blocks from them. Okay. So they wanted $5 for gas. The next thing was my job. And during this time, during this whole thing, and my example I'm going to give you is nursing. I was an end-of-life care nurse. Okay. I was working well over 50 hours a week at the time, from early in the morning until late at night. I was bringing my work home with me, working on it. I was doing the work of my coworkers. I was doing my coworkers' work because they didn't have time. My bosses would not listen to any ideas that I had when we had our meetings. None. They would never listen to any insights. If there was an issue that I was having, and there was a couple, I would go to my bosses and say, look, I'm having some issues here with these people. How do I proceed? Wouldn't listen. I made excuses for everyone and thought this is how teamwork was supposed to be, even though I never felt part of a team. It was a horrible time. Not only was I working over 50 hours a week, I was also going to school. I was also for nursing, which isn't easy, and I was taking care of my mother and trying to live a life. It's not the easiest thing in the world. So yeah. And the last thing that was on my list was overextending myself. Knowing that I have limits. Your body has limits. Your mind and your body will tell you, hey, sit your butt down. Your feet are killing you, sit down. Your knees and back are killing you, sit down. Your hands are killing you, sit down. You have a headache, sit down. You haven't eaten, you have a headache, eat. You haven't drank water, drink. You have to pee. Instead of holding on to it for 2 hours, go pee. Overextending myself. Always saying yes, and then realizing that I still have stuff to do on my to-do list, but I did everything for everybody else. A horrible way to live. So I was creating this chaos and cultivating this circle of just crap. Horrible. So at the end of this list, this very long, detailed list. Oh, excuse me. I did something very difficult. Real difficult. I let things and people go from my life. I wanted to still be there, to still help, to be productive, to be a team player, but I wanted to do it in smaller doses. Okay. With that in mind, I sat down and I set a goal for myself. It took me at least 3 months. I looked at the 3 months of my life, and I went, holy cow! If I would have done a year, I probably would have filled a book. 3 months was enough, and just where I was going off course. How was it going to change my life around? Where was I going to find my bliss? What was my bliss? That was another thing too. What is my bliss? And so, list in hand, I decided I had to change something, and I categorized that. I had to change something. Something drastic had to change for me to find it. Well, first things first, I had to find my bliss. What was my bliss? My bliss at home was me time. Me time. Stop being a yes person. Having respect for myself. Me time. That was my bliss. Kind of still is today, actually. I'm getting into that more and more and more as I'm getting older. But it was me time. To actually enjoy my family, my friends, life. That was my bliss. So, the first thing I decided to do, I changed my job. Okay? Went to my bosses. I spoke about everything with them. I laid it all on the table. From how I felt, what I felt my insights were for them, what they could do to help others, that they needed to understand that I'm a single person. And I could not and would not continue this way. I also put in my 2 weeks notice that day, right on the spot. I said, and after this is my 2 week notice, consider it. And I handed them the 2 week notice letter. I'm done. I'm out. They begged me to stay. They offered me less hours, more pay. They offered me cushy opportunities. Nope. I said, that's my 2 week notice. I did not type it up to waste ink or paper. I'm done. I'm out. As a nurse, why would I decline that? This is good money. Well, I was burnt out on that career. It finally took me to realize that being a yes person, I burned out being a yes person. And that was no longer a career I wanted to be. And being an end-of-life care nurse, you are a yes person. You really are. So, in that field, I dealt with a lot of people who knew they were dying, who knew that their time was short, who knew in their own infinite ways they did not live their life the way they wanted. Every single person that I met always had regret that they did not live the life they wanted, or did not do something they wanted, that they did it for somebody else. And it was a jolt. It was a wake-up call. It forces you to see where you're not happy and what you want out of life. That's simple. I'm not the type of person that learns easily. Sometimes I need a good swift kick upside the head. And I think that was it. It did that for me. I finally listened. Walking away from that job was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I loved my clients. I loved them. And I loved a few of the staff people there. And I was petrified. How was I going to pay my bills? How was I going to take care of myself? But here I am, years later, paying my bills, taking care of myself, taking care of a household, not just having a job, though. There's a difference between a job and a career. A job is something that pays your bills. Career is what you love to do. And that's what I have. I have a life career that I love, that I created. Me. It's not easy still. Sometimes I have to be the yes person. But I learned. Not all the time. So, next on my list came the friendships and the loved ones. And I thought about each person real long on that, real in depth. And then I categorized them. Now, for those of you that may think this is wrong, that's fine. That's your opinion. Okay? I respect that wholeheartedly. I had to categorize where these people lied and, were laying in my life. Because I'm a very visual person. So I categorized them. It was my family and my friends. I combined them. Okay? Good friends, good people. Those that made me feel appreciated, equal, light, and happy. And when I finally went through and I listed everybody that I knew across the board, I'm talking every single name, everything. Okay? The good friends, 20 people. 20. I had well over 300 on 20. I'm happy to say, years later, I'm up to about 30 because I still use the categorization. Then I had acquaintances. Now, these are people I rarely seen or just worked with. It went from 35 people to over 150. I added to it. Just acquaintances. And then the last one was the no more people. The no more. These are the ones that drained me, wanted me to be everything, and wanted, nothing to offer in return. And yes, much of it was my family on my mother and father's side. Like I said, Peanut. Hang on. Shh. I don't want to play. Sorry. Peanut Lucille thinks it's time to play. So anyway, many may think this is a harsh way to go about things. Okay? And it may be, like I said, for some, but not for me. I feel that my time, my energy, and my happiness is paramount. Paramount. I felt that if there's a drama or no equality felt or where I felt used, I'll talk to them first. And I did. And if no change, I'll let them go my life, whether it be family or not. And do people get mad at me? Oh, yeah, all the time. Well, I cared for you. Okay, well, if you cared for me when I approached you and talked to you and said, I'm having these issues and you didn't change or we didn't compromise and you went right back to doing the same thing, that's not love. That is you using me. That's not love. That's not friendship. That's not equality. That's just you with your hand out wanting something more for me that I'm no longer willing to give. That's simple. Do I love my family? Yes, because they're my family. Do I have to deal with my family? No, I do not. Do you want to know how many people between my mother's side and my father's side that I actually deal with, that I actually talk to? On my mother's side, 3. And not a one of them are my aunts and uncles. It's my 2 nieces and my sister. And I talk to my 2 nieces more than my own sister. 3. I don't talk to any of my cousins, none of my aunts, none of my uncles. None of them. Hang on a minute. Looks like my dog has to go to the bathroom. Be right back. Mull that over for a minute. my lovely puppies always have to go potty. So yeah. So I don't talk to them at all. Don't want nothing to do with them. Love them. Don't deal with them. My father's side. I talk to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually visit and talk to 5. None of them are my aunts and uncles either. The 5 that I talk to happen to be my 2 cousins, their spouses, and their children. That's it. That's it. If I see my aunts and uncles, I'll talk to them. Be nice, of course. Do I reach out to them? Nope. Do I care to? Nope. I don't care at all. Don't want to. Don't need to. Friends? I've had lifelong friends. Lifelong friends. And said, nope, I'm done. I'm out. It takes a while for me to get there. And I am very forgiving. Some of my other really close friends say that I'm a fool because I allow myself to give more than one chance sometimes. Sometimes my instincts are a little askew. And they're right, very much so. So do I give people chances? Yes. But I've had lifelong friends. I haven't spoken to them over 10, 15 years or more. Because I refuse to be treated that way. Refuse. I wish them love and light and luck and everything that they do. I have every faith in them that they will succeed in whatever it is they do. However, I'm no longer on their path with them. So I ended up scratching that off my list. I was only down to 2 more things then. By now, I'm feeling a little bit lighter and less chaotic. I'm finding my bliss. I felt. And before I go further, it's really hard to maintain. It really is. Okay, a person that suffers from anxiety and depression, okay, usually they go hand in hand. It's really hard for them to maintain their happiness. It really is. And I'm saying this from experience. Okay, there are many days that I'm just depressed. It could be a little thing that triggers me. It could be the weather. It could be how I'm feeling. Okay, it's really hard to maintain how I feel, my bliss, which is my happiness, which is me. Okay, and there comes days that I have to be harsh and hard and look at the people around me. My goal in life is to surround myself and talk to people and care for people, no matter what. Okay, I can care for everybody in the world, but only surround myself with those that really, truly I feel a connection to. As hard and harsh as that is, because I cannot be put into any darker spots than I already put myself. That's simple. Chaos cannot rule my life. So those that I talk to, it's because I care. Those that I consider a friend, it's because I care. And that's a huge rule with me. If I don't consider you a friend, I don't talk to you. I'm very curt and polite and go my way. I won't help. I'll still wish you the best. I do, and I still wish them the best, but I won't help them. But those that I truly care about, those that I care and say you are my friend, then that's because you are my friend, and I take that very, very deeply, very, very personally. If you're a friend, then I want you to know that I feel that you are someone that's enlightening me, and I'm enlightening you. It's an equality between them. To give you an example, there's a steadfast rule that I have, okay, for Facebook. This is one of the reasons I like Facebook. those who are on my friends list are my friends. Seriously. If you're on my Facebook friends list, you're a friend. If you're not a friend. If I have not met someone in real life, they're not a friend. They're not on my Facebook page. They're not on my friends list. I cherish my friendships. I cherish and I cultivate that relationship. That's simple. So I like Facebook. So anyway, I hope y'all are getting something out of this. I hope I'm not rambling too much. Please let me know if I am. I will try and get back on course. Hence why I said I really had a hard time figuring out how I wanted to proceed with this today. So I scratched those off. I only had 2 left on my little list. And like I said, I was starting to find my bliss. And yes, I made notes. It's an OCD thing. If not, I will ramble really, really badly. Okay. Another thing on my list was my own thoughts. That is a tough one, and that's something that I'm always going to have to deal with. Okay. I have like 4 little people in my head that talk to me all the time. You have the jerk in the background, who's always wanting up for a fight. You know, is always uber offended. Well, thank you, Tony. I'm glad. And hi, Jody, and hi, Nick again. And I have that little, like I said, that little jerk in the back of my head. You know, he's easily offended. He's the fight guy. I have the shy one in the back of my head that whispers in my ear once in a while. Let's go hide in the corner. I don't want to deal with that. Then I have the coulda, shoulda, woulda friend in my head, that little voice. If you did this, you could have done this, you should have done that, you would have done that, this would have been better. Then I have the one voice that I really try to listen to. That is my common sense voice. That's my little Jiminy Cricket, a little wisdom. Okay. Sometimes all the other voices overflow little Jiminy. And I have to go, Jiminy, get up here and get front and center. Because there's so many thoughts tumbling through my head at one time. I have to focus on one thing. And if I'm not real careful, I can slip and slide down that slippery slope and right into Mr. Jerk who wants to fight everybody and everything. And that's my little deep, dark demon. You know, he hides back there waiting to pounce on me. And just not going to happen. He's calmed down over the years. Common sense in him sits down, has chit chat, chit chat, and I kind of take a breather, and I'm very mindful. I practice a mindful meditation that I learned years ago, and it literally takes just a few minutes. I imagine a round table, with all these 4 around, and then I imagine the 4 of them talking through this issue before I physically respond. 9 times out of 10, common sense overrules. And once in a while, one of those, long day, sorry. One of the other ones overrules. Then I have, common sense going, but it's for a good cause. Just don't go to jail. Don't hurt anyone. Don't hurt yourself. But it's for a good cause. So, trying to overcome those little voices can be very problematic sometimes. So this little mindful meditation kind of helps. It kind of gives me that chance to, okay, let's analyze the situation in an adult form. And it's taken me a long time to cultivate that because I'll be honest, I have a very short fuse. And as I've gotten older, it's gotten shorter. Okay. I do find things offensive. A lot of things offensive. I find it offensive that young kids are telling adults that we're useless. Okay, I find that offensive. I find it offensive that people are out about to use everyone and hurt everyone, but yet don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. I find that offensive. Things like that. I guess those are common sense things. But I find certain things offensive in this world. And other ones I'm just like, whatever. I'm going to go the other way because honestly, how is that going to affect me right now? But I try to common sense it. I try to have that common sense over the world. So my own thoughts were that tough one. I felt that I needed to be everything to everyone all of the time, non-stop. My 24-hour days turned into 50-hour days. Okay, Tony. It's just not the case. I needed to have to do these daily tasks to feel accomplished, and it was not the case. It really wasn't. I had to accept that. I had to learn it, and I had to accept it. And one thing that I kind of, if I get into those little dark spots where I think I have to do a ton of things, oh, excuse me, to feel accomplished, I think of what Joseph Campbell said. We must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. So in my head, I plan all these things that have to be done. Right? We plan that. What about the life that's waiting for us? The friends that want to go out for dinner, or, watching a movie with your family, or going for a walk, or just sitting and reading a book. It's okay to plan for some things I learned, but it's okay to go with the flow as well. So again, I sat down and looked at my life, at my calendar, at my goals, and then form a routine. I had to. I'm a routine person. If I don't have a routine, I feel too chaotic. And I knew that, I try to live by what I put in my calendar the best I can. I usually write it in, yes, I know November 3rd I was supposed to do this. However, I try not to stress too much. I do try to catch up. If something doesn't get done or if I have to reschedule, I try not to stress too much. I try to prioritize as much as I can. So, I also knew that I needed a morning and an evening routine. Okay? I needed something in the morning to prepare me for my day, and I needed something at night to prepare me for my evening. Okay? I had to have structure. It took me a really long time to accept this, that I have to have structure in order to live my life. Not a lot of structure, okay? Not so rigid I can't breathe or move, but something that kicks in to remind me, okay, this is what we need to do in order to get this done, okay? So I'm going to share with you my general morning and evening routine, okay? Use them or not, it's up to you. So in the morning, I usually try to get up at least an hour before anyone else is up, so I have my quiet time. Sometimes this is at 6:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier. So what I do is I try to drink coffee for at least 30 minutes, and within them 30 minutes, I usually try to get a couple cups of coffee in. I try to have my breakfast, brush my teeth, and wash my face. I try to do stretches or yoga or meditate. I drink my water as I scroll through social media or catch up on some of new emails. I look at my calendar to see what is planned for that day, and I prep for my day. I shower and get dressed, and I start my day. Sometimes at night it doesn't go as planned, but I try to stick to an evening routine, to have my dinner cooked by 5:30, no later. I'm eating by 6:30 when I know I can, but if I can't, I don't stress because I live in a household with 2 other adult males. They can pretty much feed themselves. They can pretty much cook. They both lived on their own, so I try not to stress. Whereas before, I was always, it's my job to cook for them. It's my job to make sure that dinner's on the table. It's my job. Yep, don't forget your doggy. He's out. He came back and he's got a doggy door. I just opened up the door and he walks in and out. He's now getting down here getting loved. But I was stressed out, thinking I had to be the woman of the house. I had to, as a woman, I should make sure the dinner's on the table. It's cooked. It's ready to go. You know, the dishes are done. The laundry's done. And no, there were days that I would be on my feet too long. And I'm just like, I don't want to. You know what? Have a bowl of cereal. You know what? Cook here yourself. So I stopped. Yes, I try to have, when I do feel good enough, or if I have time, or if they're hungry, I try to have dinner. I try. I try to stick to that general schedule. So, I try to end my phone calls, my computer time, and my business by or before 8 p.m. And I know tonight's an exception. I try. I brush my teeth and I wash my face. If I didn't take a shower in the morning, I usually take it at night. That's my family mode after that. Hi, Jessica. I watch movies or I have immediate family time. The biggest thing my family, my husband and I, my father, my immediate family like to do is we like to watch movies. Anything, everything. Shows, TV shows. Okay? My husband and I will lay in bed. My father will sit in his comfy chair at the end of our bed, and we watch the great big TV in the bedroom. Laughing and joking and having fun. That's what we do. It's our family time. Or we'll go out to dinner, or we'll sit at the table and talk and have coffee or something. We do family time. Usually I'm asleep no later than 11 o'clock, sometimes earlier. So that's my morning and evening routine. Sundays are my sacred days. Sundays are my days. I try to usually do nothing. I stay indoors. Sometimes, if it's nice out, I go outdoors and play in my garden. I'm in my PJs. I read a book or two, or I do nothing. I don't do any computer work. Very rarely do I do fairs or shows or anything on Sundays. I try to keep Sundays as my sacred time. This is my time to recharge, relax, and be for me. Okay? By having this routine, I feel I prepare myself to face any changes that may pop up. And I froze. Here we go. Get out. Okay. I froze there for a minute. So anyway, by having this routine, I'm able to face any changes that pop up. Okay? And it's worked pretty well. I feel accomplished and I feel balanced at the end of my day. I feel like I found my bliss. Okay? To give you guys an idea, the other day was extremely hectic. Okay? I had my day planned. It wasn't, solid, but I had it planned. I went to pick up my niece because her car was broke down. She was getting worked on in the shop. Picked her up for work. The roads were horrible, so I had my husband go with me because I was chicken. And we did have breakfast that way, so we had some family time in there. Got back home. On the way home, he's like, I need to get boots and stuff. So what are your plans for today? I said, well, I guess going to get your boots and stuff. Guys, let me tell you, you do not go to a sporting goods store the day before hunting season opens. It is a very dumb idea, and I did it. It was horrible. Oh, my gosh. That's worse than going there on Black Friday. So we shuffle through the store for a couple hours. Oh, finally get out of there. Get everything he needs and wants. And I had to pick my niece up at 4. Well, at that time, at 4, I had to take my dog to the vet. So I'm like, okay, honey, you take your car. You go pick up the niece. I'm going to take my car with Dad and go take her to the dog to the vet. Okay, no problem. On the way home, I get a text from my niece, talking to my niece. She's in the car with her uncle on the way home. like, I think my car might be done, so we're going to swing by. I said, okay, great. I said, let me know either way. Okay? You'll have your uncle take you home or have you go pick up the car. One or the other. Let me know. Okay? It was okay. And I was in Spanish at the time. I finally get into Wards, Auburn, and I get a text. Never mind, we're going to be late. We have a blue tire. We blew a tire. I'm like, fiddled me stick sideways. So I call her up. He's driving. Don't know where he is. All right, dear. What do I need to bring besides the airport? And where are you? She finally figures out, she and her uncle figures out where they're at. Okay. I had a general idea where they're at. Okay. Let me run home, drop the dog off, pick the stuff up, let me come find you. We'll get this sorted. Well, did all that, got there, finally found him and her, and it's winter, guys, it's cold. Not only did my husband have a blown tire, but it's on the front of the truck, driver's side, and it's a large hole. Okay. What do we have to put on the car? We have the worst jacks possible. Those little cranky jacks to crank up a 4x4 truck. Yeah. That was a lot of fun to watch. I was having anxiety attacks. My niece was having anxiety attacks. It's just my husband, in his wonderful wisdom, decided to put his head underneath where this little teeny tiny jack is so that he can see what he was doing. Mind you, my husband is 66 years old, very round, and probably doesn't move very well. Yeah, wasn't happy. So I had to run her back because by then we had like 4 minutes to get her back 4 miles to where her car is to hopefully pay the guy or pick the car up. Get back there. As we pull in, the guy's pulling out. Car's not done. Here's your money. Okay, I'll run back to the house with you. Wait for your uncle and your grandpa at this time, and then one of us will run you home. Day did not go well. However, I was able to still keep my sanity in all of this because I was able to go, okay, this, and this didn't get done today, but I prioritized enough to where they can get done tomorrow. Like this thing that I'm doing right now was supposed to be done the other day. That's why we're doing an impromptu one. And that, because my day is planned, I'm able to say no now. Because I know I need time to recharge and live my life more balanced. So if someone comes up and says, hey, Amy, you got 2-hour block open to, I don't know, come help me with this, and this. Sorry, I don't. Can we reschedule for some other time? For a long time, I felt guilty about that. Now, not so much. So, what is the meaning of all this? Well, it's an example of how I was able to walk away and find my bliss. Walk away from what isn't helping anymore, what isn't making me happy anymore, what drags me down, what saddens me, what angers me. These are all negatives. It's not an easy feat, but it's doable if you're willing to put in the work. And I'm not saying that it can happen overnight. This has been years since I've been on that job, okay? And it's been years since I've been doing my life career. But the tools that I learned, I had to relearn and re-put them to use, as they say. I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I just had to modify it. Because there are times that I've slipped in my life. There really are. There's times that I slipped and I've backtracked and I've had to catch myself and go, no. There are people that I've had to walk away from. But sometimes I do miss. But I know I can't go back. There's things that I wish to do, but I know I can't no more. Because this path that I'm on is the path of my bliss right now. And it can change. It can change a day from now, an hour from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. It's supposed to evolve as we evolve. Your bliss right now may not be your bliss in a year. It's just lessons. And the biggest ones for me, don't be surrounded by people that make you feel unwanted or unloved. Walk away and find your bliss. Don't be somewhere you do not feel heard. Walk away and find your bliss. Get out of your own head. You are what you create for yourself. Walk away and find your bliss. Stop saying yes all the time. When you are already overwhelmed, exhausted, it's going to cause you to be bitter to yourself and others. Walk away and find your bliss. Take a day off to recharge yourself. Do something that makes you happy that you normally wouldn't have time to do. Walk away and find your bliss. It's all about how we perceive our bliss. Make goals. Attain your goals. Fill yourself up with happiness because you can't fill up somebody else if you're empty. Joseph Campbell is the author of The Power of Myth, an amazing book. And the other quote that I want to say to you guys is something that I try to incorporate. People, let's see if I can read this right this time. People say that what we're all seeking is a meaning for life. I don't think that's what we're really seeking. I think that what we're seeking is an experience of being alive, so that our life experiences on a purely physical plane will have resonances with our innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. That is a Joseph Campbell quote. And in that small quote, I think it says, so I hope today little topic helped. Again, it's just my opinion. It's some of the life lessons that I've learned along the way. And nothing's ever written in stone. One thing should be written in stone, though. I think, anyway. Again, it's just my opinion. You should never always be a yes person. There should be some sprinklings of no in there. And when you have a no day, have a yes day for your innermost self. Just saying. So, I end tonight with many, 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 many blessings to you all. And I hope you have a great night. And I hope you got something out of this tonight. Okay? You guys have a good one. Many blessings and namaste and enjoy this weather. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.